Hello, this is Pyramis coming at you with another game. This is going to be in the Vile Gaming $100 weekly tournament being played on February 13th, 2011. And yes, you are seeing this correct. This is between FXOMoOnan and vileHashe in a Terran versus Terran on Steps of War, guys. This is going to be insane. This map can encourage a lot of aggressive play because it's a two-player map and a fairly short rush distance, and also encourage long macro styles. It's a very versatile map. Very excited to see what these two guys go for. Look at these guys. High APMs, very even right now, within 1 APM of each other. Let's see what's going on. As the game heats up, got the Splatty build coming down for Hash. Of course, very standard. Not too much excitement there, though. Moonan doing the same. A little bit behind, but just small discrepancies. Not going to matter too much. Here we go, Moonan sending out his SCV, plopping down the barracks. Here we go, same thing coming in from Hash. And we're yet to see some deviation here in the build. Of course, Terran versus Terran, not going to see anything deviate that crazy this early on. Gas going down for both players as well. Of course, not really anything else you can really do. Jarring the all-in. And of course, this is the best of one, so these guys got to play at the best of their abilities. They don't want to finishing off with just a cheese, because then the other player can be like, oh, I can just beat you. You just went all in. And we got the SCV from vileHashe coming in earlier than that of FXOMoOnan. Those guys are going to high five on the ramp. Hash's SCV going to double back a little bit and then continue on its scouting mission. I'm going to see the Orbital Command Center go up. Probably not going to see too much besides that, because this Marine's going to pop out and pressure that SCV. Meanwhile, the SCV from Moonan, suspecting some funky play, actually went up to the Zelnog Tower, actually going down to the bottom Zelnog Tower as well, in fear of proxy play from his opponent, which is not happening, as you can see, being the omniscient streamer that I am. However, that's going to cost him the scout into the base, though, because with the Marines now out on the field, there's no way an SCV is going to be able to power its way up the ramp. So this SCV is going to chill, have a little dance party here at the Zelnog Tower. Look at this, it's like a little disco ball, and this guy's just dancing the night away. In the meantime, vileHashe's SCV is doing a much better job being a little ninja here, hiding in this little shrubbery, and going to scout his opponent's base later on. Going to be able to see the factory and all the tech that's coming in for FXOMoOnan. Hash also going for mirror build as his opponent. Second gas going down for both players. Gas of Moonan coming up much faster than that of Hash, though. We're going to see what happens out of that. We have Hellions coming out on the field as well as a couple Marines, so we might be seeing some Hellion Marine pressure from Moonan before he moves up completely to starport tech. But of course, preference right there. We have 3 Marines and an SCV coming out for Hash. Going to move back, though. They don't want to get caught out in the middle of the field, because his army is a slightly more inferior than that of FXOMoOnan. Now going to push out with a Hellion and 5 Marines and SCV to try to put on some pressure. There's only 5 Marines out on the field. Hash has gone straight for the starport. No Hellions on his side. Should be able to hold this off with no problems, though, especially sending out the Marine. He totally sees this coming. Got to get a better spread on those guys. There we go. Make sure that Hellion does not do too much splash damage. Uh-oh, this could be close. Oh my gosh. Hash losing a bit to the splash damage, and he's going to have to pull SCVs now. There we go. He's actually pulling the mule, too. I don't know why. A little bit of misclick there. That's going to cost him a little bit of minerals. And Hash, what is he doing? He's got to keep the SCVs in the fight. Losing Marines left and right. Loses 1 SCV right off the bat. 3 Marines heavily damaged for Moonan. 1 goes down. Marine is not chasing, though. Moonan's Marine is very passive. Just not getting like getting his hands dirty. Getting 2 kills, though. Could have gotten 3 or 4. Uh-oh. Hellion for Moonan getting a little bit too excited, running up the ramp. Gonna meet Marines and actually take him out. There we go. 1 Hellion from Hash going to come in and try to finish things off. Going to cook this 1 Marine. And the Hellion from Moonan going to be able to escape. Meanwhile, that Ninja SCV I was talking about earlier, moving across the base of Moonan, going to scout all the tech. But I think he could have suspected it anyways. But seeing the starport is going to really help. But, oh man, he's not going to see the band. He's not going to see the what is it, Raven, excuse me. That's what he really needed to see. If he saw that Raven coming out first, he would know that this Banshee with Cloak is going to be much harder to pull off. But I gotta say, there's not a lot of anti-air right now for Moonan. These two Marines are pretty much dead. He's got 3 health on each, but they're hero Marines, 2 kills and 4 kills on them. But I gotta say, Hashe's Banshee actually could have the potential to do something, and actually right when I say that, I see this Viking being built. So Viking plus Raven equals sad Banshee. You know, I got 2 Hellions coming out for FXOMoOnan, running across the map. He's got to be a little bit careful though, roasting a couple Marines and falling back, roasting some Hellions and falling back. Hash got to repair this Hellion. Doesn't pull it back in time, so just completely cannon fodder for those Hellions. Meanwhile, got the Banshee moving in from Hash. Taking a pot shot, taking a couple shots on the Viking. He does not see the Raven yet. This could be huge. He might lose this Banshee without any SCV kills. Actually, 1 kill on it. It's gonna go down. There's no way it's going to run. There we go. Explodes out of the air. And Moonan's going to take a huge advantage in this game, especially having his command center down already. Hash's command center is a little bit behind. I gotta say, Hash has got to pull something now out of his hat to try to deal with this. He does not need to commit anymore to Banshees. The second Banshee is almost a waste because, I mean, it's not going to do anything except just sit here and hope to defend against the Marines later on. 2 Vikings now on the board for FXOMoOnan, getting a 3rd one as well. So he really wants that air superiority going to the mid game, and of course on this map especially, which you can split the map really easily. And when you have those tank lines, the one factor that's going to break a tank line is the air superiority, because you can get more vision on your tanks. You can threaten anything that your opponent can throw at you just because you have more vision on their tank line. You want Hash setting up his defenses now, just getting siege, getting a nice defensive position. 2 Hellions running in, gonna cook 1 Marine. That was not a good trade. 1 Hellion for 1 Marine. And the forces of Moonan gonna move across the map. He does have a much greater force, and especially with those Vikings, like I said earlier, with air superiority, you're gonna be able to outfire your opponent's tanks, because tanks actually have a longer range than they actually have sight. There we go. Vikings moving in. Tanks, are they in range? Yes, they are in range of this tank, and Hash is not going to be able to return fire without wasting a scan. Going to unsiege his tanks and manages to get away with a sliver of health. Got to get an SCV on that to repair them. There we go, 3 SCVs working on that tank. However, Moonan not going to stop the aggression. Moving on. However, his tanks don't actually reach that of Hash's. Moonan actually lost a Viking there unnecessarily to a couple Marines. That was pretty bad. Throwing down the point defense drone preemptively as a defensive mechanism. That was a good investment, because he managed to take out one of Hash's Vikings, and now they are even in terms of Viking count. If it wasn't for that point defense drone, Hash would have been behind. There we go, moving up a little bit more. The tanks shelling that of Hash. Hash losing a lot of tanks right off the bat. He was at a huge disadvantage before, and now he's just getting dug into a deeper grave by FXOMoOnan. Look at this, inching forward, and Moonan, what star sense! He just knows to just catch his opponent at the very tip of his range. So very nicely done by Moonan. Of course, don't expect anything less from Moonan, aka All About You. He might just knock Hash out of this tournament right here as he is sieging the natural expansion already. Got 4 Vikings now in the air. Gonna match the 4 Vikings from Hash. Is there a point defense drone? Yes, there is a point defense drone. Oh my gosh. Poor Hash. This is painful to watch. There's nothing he can do. He's getting choked back in his base. He can't move forward, and he's slowly going to get completely choked in his main base. Going to get completely contained. Now trying to land his command center here, break these rocks to get an expansion going for him. Meanwhile, Moonan, let's take a look at the income. 1,300 to 800. Not a pretty sight for Hash. And with just this one tank, look how defensively he's making Hash play. Hash cannot venture out. Oh my gosh, he ventured out a little bit too far. Hopefully this is not the end for Hash, but I have a feeling that it might be. Vikings landing all around the map. And Hash got 2 tanks here in the back. They might be the saving grace, or they might not. Not enough firepower here to deal with what Moonan is throwing at him. 2 Vikings landing, but Vikings don't do well against unsieged tanks at all. They are the paper airplanes of the sky and the ground. And there we go. The forces of Hash getting cleaned up nicely by FXOMoOnan. Moonan definitely has the economy to ramp things up. He's got a lot of forces here in the back just chilling. If he had committed these forces, he could finish off the game right now, but he wants to play things safe. Gonna scan the SCV transfer. That's horrible for Hash. Completely revealing his hidden quote-unquote expansion. And meanwhile, Moonan's gonna move in. 1 tank from Hash is gonna run right into the eye of the storm. Gonna get taken out. And Hash's reinforcements are not gonna be enough. Calling out the LOL, good job. So well played by FXOMoOnan. However, Hash, just unfortunate that his early Banshee did not work out, and he was just got the vice-like grip of Moonan, holding down his natural expansion with the siege tank. So dominant play coming in from FXOMoOnan.